they ought to teach this in school. It's not always cool to be cool. On this week's episode of Cartoon Buffoons, I'm your host, Wyatt, and who is here with me today, as always?
Hello, I'm Morgan, and I'm making pancakes? Making bacon pancakes?
And who is our very special guest for today's episode?
Say that again. It's me, Buster.
There you go. We're bringing all the memes today, everybody.
Let's go!
We're talking about Fantastic Four, World's Greatest Heroes, a Cartoon Network show that aired for one season that nobody on Earth watched except for us. Now we have watched it, at least some of it, and we're here to talk about it. So I guess I should ask Buster. You know, we obviously we have a history together as podcasting co-hosts. It's good to. This is the first episode we've had you on, right?
Yeah, which is a weird debut.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is wild.
We love Buster. This is wild.
Yeah, and I know you want to be on for Transformers Animated, right? Like,
yeah.
Yes, so we'll
I
get
have a
you
lot
on.
to say.
Yes, we'll get you on. That's like a few episodes from now, but we'll get you back on for that. But I wanted to ask, what is your history? I guess I should just ask, because I sincerely doubt you have a history with this show. What's your history with Fantastic Four? If you do have a history with this show, let us know.
Okay, I do have it's only a minor bit that happened in like recent years, but I'll start with Fantastic Four history. So I think like my first major exposure to them was watching the 2005 movie on cable and thinking, "Wow, this sucks."
Yeah.
No, I'm seeing people trying to like revisionist history, like, "Oh no, it's good." No, that movie sucks, and Rise of Silver Surfer is worse.
Crazy. Disagree. There's a dick joke in it. There's a stretchy dick joke.
Okay,
in
you know what? That's fair.
Can't.
I like the practical thing.
Yeah.
And then like I did like later on when I was like getting into comics, I kind of like this was around the point where like Disney like kind of mandated the Fantastic Four were not going to be like in comics along with the X-Men, so it's like there was really no Fantastic Four book. And then when there was a Fantastic Four book, Dan Slott was writing, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah.
But like in recent years, thanks to like a couple video essays and even like the current Ryan North Fantastic Four run, I've really like fallen in love with the team, and yeah, they're cool guys, and I do respect them for basically like starting this entire Marvel mythos.
Yeah. Did you ever go back and reread like old Jack Kirby?
Yeah, I've read
Four?
a couple here and there, not like all. I haven't like sat down and like still done the whole series, but I've read a couple here and there, mainly involving Doom because I really like Doom.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, we can talk about more later, but like yeah, I mean, there are like the thing about like 60s and 70s comics is they're very wordy, and with like for me as someone who likes to view comics as a visual and literary medium, it's a bit hard to get into like fully. But that's just my like autistic brain and shit. So.
All right, cool. Morgan, how about you? What's your history, if you have any, with this show and just the Fantastic Four in general, as a jumping off point?
Well, my history with Fantastic Four is MF Doom is one of the greatest rappers to ever exist.
That's true.
No, but that's like only partially a joke because I remember vividly having a conversation with Nikki about the Fantastic Four because Nikki was really into Fantastic Four comics. And they said, I got into it because of MF Doom. And I also got into them because of MF Doom. Like, this MF Doom man looks like Dr. Doom, and he's doing a song with Mr. Fantastic. Who are these characters? I must know more. So I've always been like a vague fan of Fantastic Four. They've never did anything for me, like as far as like comics go. I was never that kind of person. I was an X-Men person. But as time goes over, the mutants start crossing over the Fantastic Four a lot more in later years. I don't know if anyone knows this. Like, there's like stuff with Quicksilver and Crystal and all this other shit. So I know about it from that. I know this cartoon because, no joke, like a year ago, I decided to rewatch this because I wanted to see all the like pre-Marvel exploded like stuff.
Sure,
you know?
Yeah, because there's a shocking amount of
there's a
comic
fuckload, like,
stuff in this that we'll talk about. But yeah.
Like, there's like a lot, like there's the Iron Man show that's really bad, and like there's a Spider-Man show everyone has like a group psychosis about, pretending it's good.
Right. The 90s one.
Yeah, the spider. Yeah, that one fucking sucks. I don't care. Meet me in the street. But like,
spider
so
blood.
like that was reactive spider come. But like but yeah, I like saw this one. I rewatched this like a year ago, and I was like, wow, this is hurting me. So I decided it sucked. I gave like 2 episodes. Like, this sucks.
Right.
And I just never came back to it. So when you told us we were watching this, my only reaction from old emotions was, guys, Wyatt's trying to kill me again.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, okay, that's my reaction. So I was like fight or flight because of that. So that's like my only connection, is that like I like Fantastic Four to some degree. I love Doctor Doom and his other stories he's in. I like when he cried about 9/11.
That's good.
And like that's it, because no one has any emotions for this show. I said it to you word for word. No human has emotions for this show. So what's your connection, Wyatt? If you have any?
Well, for this show, I swear I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes when it aired. I think it was just on Toonami. It might have been on some other thing. It is French, for just to get that out of the way. And Magoozy used to air a bunch of French shows, like they aired Code Lyoko and Totally Spies. So possibly aired on that, but I don't know for sure. Hold on, I can easily find out by looking on the Wikipedia page. Which I also learned that apparently this show only aired 8 episodes. Like, only 8 episodes of its run ever aired on television. Or at least American television, and then the rest, was just like through other means or whatever, or at least on
DVDs,
Cartoon Network. Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird because it's a Cartoon Network co-production, specifically a Cartoon Network Europe co-production.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I wanted to do it, because unlike some of the other shows that are like notable for being like, oh, these are Cartoon Network shows, they're just shows that aired on Cartoon Network, and we're trying to focus on things produced by the studio.
A Cartoon Network studio.
Yeah. Whether that be European or Latin America or whatever, So eventually we'll do like all those Latin American shows I've never ever seen, like Frank Helda and Villainous and stuff like Villainous. That. But that's down the line. But anyway, as far as Fantastic Four goes, I'm not a comic boy, as we always discuss, and like whenever we do like Batman or whatever, like I don't fucking know anything about any comic book. My only exposure is some of the MCU and like Batman movies. Like, that's as far as my knowledge goes. That's sure
insane also, because you've been in the friend group we've been in for a decade.
Yeah, and I don't.
And like you throw a rock and everyone in there loves comic books.
Tell me anything about Metroid.
There's an evil bird dude in Dread who's sexy as fuck. How's that, dude?
That is, like, that's true.
Exactly. Yeah. Samus gets turned into a crab. In Dread too.
There you go. It's more she turns herself into a crab, but that's good enough.
See, I pay attention with my pussy when you talk about it. Like, yo, that's a sexy bird.
Yeah. But I know like some character names. I know people want to fuck Sue Storm, especially because of Marvel Rivals.
Marvel Rivals, yeah. I was gonna mention Rivals because like I feel like the Fantastic Four, like even before like this new movie's about to come out, like their popularity is already like skyrocketing thanks to Rivals. Like you got clobberin times and everyone gooning.
And source filmmaker going crazy. And,
Yeah. And so, other than that, my only exposure is the 2005 movie. Seeing that because it was at the height of like that first sort of 2000s pre-MCU superhero movies.
Like the X-Men Spider-Man wave.
Yes, exactly. Like it was in that same wave, and like and Ghost Rider and the first Iron Man, like stuff like that would like come.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember, that movie coming out when I was in like 5th grade, and I remember having Lunchables that had like it's like a plastic square with like the thing's face in it, and if you combine it, like it can combine with the other 4 squares that are, or the other 3 squares, and form like a big square that's all 4 of the Fantastic Four. And
See, that would be a neat idea if Lunchables weren't toxic as hell.
Yeah, they're terrible. I just remember having like a field trip or something to Fort Hill Cemetery, which is like a giant military cemetery that we have in our town.
They bring children there?
Yeah, because we have to learn about the Revolutionary War or whatever the fuck. But I genuinely, I think that's it. I'm fairly certain it isn't the Civil War, because it's New York. But anyway, I just remember like being with other kids who also had Lunchables and being like, you got Mr. Fantastic, you got to trade me your the thing, and then blah blah blah, like do it like this. That's my fondest memory of Fantastic Four, is trading little plastic squares back and forth with other 10-year-olds. Yeah, so other than that, I know like Doctor Doom's pretty cool in like the fighting games.
Yeah,
like
Marvel
vs. Capcom. He's cool. And then I know that there was a movie that came out in like 2015 that was really bad.
Yeah.
That had the say that again. That's the only that and like It's Clobbering Time are the only things that people like, the dark origins of It's Clobbering Time.
My dad beat me.
Yeah. Like that's the only thing that people remember about that. But yes, that's my only exposure to it. I've never got like, I just know a little bit about it. I know so little about comic books and like Fantastic Four in general that I genuinely completely forgot that Doctor Doom and Magneto were different people. So that's the that's the baseline of knowledge that I'm going off of. So
you're so racist.
Shut up.
You're so fucking racist, dude. Ugh.
This is good.
But okay.
But let's get into world's greatest heroes. The premise of this show, everyone, is that there are 4 guys. They're like a Fantastic Four, if you would. There is Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Susan Storm. I'm not hyphenating her name. Have some fucking respect. Have some self-respect. Invisible Woman, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, and Ben Grimm, the Thing. They fight. They don't really fight crime. They just fight evil niggas. They don't like. I can't think of them like saving a bank. I don't think anyone's doing a crime. I think they're just doing world destruction usually. So they fight people who are doing world destruction, and that's the premise. Because like, listen, if you know superhero stuff, that's kind of always what the deal is. Also, they're rich and famous. Yeah. That's like the big thing that makes the Fantastic Four different from like Spider-Man or other stuff. They're rich and famous for being heroes, which has always been like a cool thing about them, and also like the most. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, sure, yeah. In one of the early episodes, they just fight like a judge.
Yeah, Ronan the Accuser.
Okay.
What, nigga? You can't get mad at me for knowing the name of characters.
I'm just saying, it's like, of course he's some fucking character, but I don't know.
Dude, I could have said Spermy the come, yeah. And you would have believed me. You like, yeah, that's Spermy, bro. That's fucking Spermy. Like.
But anyway, yeah. So the Fantastic Four. I gotta ask. So they're like the family superhero team. They're like the first family or whatever. And then it's like, okay, like 2 of them are siblings. One of them is like married to another. And then what the fuck is Ben Grimm? Like, what is he?
He's literally Reed's best man.
Okay,
like, he's like his best friend. So like,
he just is like a giant, muscular, like New York Jewish guy as the.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Why is Ben catching a straight? You said it like he's just like, oh, that's just the dog. Like
he's not at all. He's a close family. I was just like, why the fuck is he part of the family? He's just
because he's like a close family friend.
Yeah, it's just funny that they couldn't have thought of like, oh, cousin Ben. Like let's.
Dude,
Let's bring him along.
Literally, Reed's kids call him uncle. Like
Okay.
he's like listen, Wyatt. You know this. Jewish people, like all people, have like you have uncles who have no blood that share with you.
That is
like
true.
This is my uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's just like that. Yeah.
Good for him. But yeah, there you go. But we should talk about the actual show instead of just talking about the Fantastic Four in general. Buster, since you're a guest, I want to ask, how did you feel about the show visiting it for the podcast?
Well, yeah, because like I've only seen one episode before, and that was just like my friends just randomly put on the She-Hulk episode. I don't know why. They just did.
Yeah.
I know why.
I think I know why too. But like, so yeah, that was the only episode I watched. Watched like a few episodes, and overall, it's a pretty alright superhero cartoon. I'd say like it's pretty like there's some. I think we've been dancing around that the art style is a bit wacky.
Yeah, sure.
Like, okay, it's clearly following that wave of like French anime inspired like Code Lyoko-esque character design.
Yes.
And there's some like neat character designs. I like when the Thing had the spray painted like 4 on his chest. I think that's kind of neat. But just the overall color I think it's the compositing here. The color compositing is so weird. It's I don't. You know what? Just say it. It's ass. Yeah. Because
it sucks. It's really fucking bad. Like watching this show is like being assaulted.
Yeah.
Like like someone like, ooh, here's some sand in your eyes. I'm like, can y'all stop?
Yeah. It's like
I'm trying to enjoy your
I mentioned
show.
this in the chat. It's like a shitty PS2 remaster of or of like
like a remaster of it like really did look like. It gave me flashbacks to like that era, like the 2006, 2007 era, where it was like, Gears of War and like Resistance, Fallen Man, and stuff like that. Like even like Twilight Princess, like all these games. The whole appeal is that it looks good because it's like here's all the fucking bloom effects and here's like the all these like visual filters and like no, this is terrible. Like why does it look like this?
Like, if you've ever seen, like, those videos, I upped all my settings on this FPS to see if I can still play it. It looks like that. Like, with just, like, the blinding white bloom, just like, I can't see shit. It's like, and I like to, like, make jokes about it, but when you have a show that, like, one guy's literally on fire, and most of them are blonde or orange, it gets really fucking bad when they're outside. I'm like, guys, I can't see shit.
Yeah. The actual character design, I think is fine. Like, I don't really have any huge issue. Johnny Storm is a little bit, like, crazy anime hair, which is a kind of off base for the, more comic booky designs, but I think it fits just fine.
Also, because but also I could believe he would have like frosted tips, or like his hair would be spiked up. He's a dickhead.
But yeah, I do. Him and his like flame on form is pretty cool looking, and all the villains and everything that show up. Dr. Doom looks kind of it's cool. He looks a little bit skinny, for being like an imposing metal man. But that's fine.
I like the spray paint thing conceptually, right? I think it's a cool thing. I like it visually. I like to see it visually. I do hate it from like a guy standpoint, because I'm like, are you not dehumanized enough then to be literally spray painted on you, dude? Like, does that not make you go, I'm feeling a little like an object?
Yeah.
Like, do you not feel bad about having that spray painted on you?
True. Yeah.
I will say, one of the only like comic pages that I know about with the Fantastic Four is like them coming up with their names and him being like, I could only ever be called the Thing, and then I'll be Mr. Fantastic. It's just like a very funny like, a guy like grieving the fact that he'll always be a monster for the rest of his life, and then his friend being like, I'm fucking badass, bro.
I'm cool as shit, you fucking loser. I will say also, even though I think the main four look fine and Dr. Doom also looks good, with the exception of She-Hulk, every time they have like an extra character come in, they look like dog shit.
Yeah, the Hulk, the regular Hulk looks
bad.
Yeah. Like, I get they're trying to do like the more grotesque, like monstery look, but it just didn't really work for me.
Yeah, there's so many things where I'm like, is this a person? I don't know. Obviously, I didn't know who Ronan the Accuser was.
Yeah.
But I do know, like, I know all the normie stuff, like the Hulk, like Tony
and
Stark.
Iron Man.
I know him. I know him because I post his face all the time on Discord.
Jarvis, separate his balls. But the Hulk also looks bad because of the coloring they do in the show.
Yeah.
He's not green normally. He's like the shittiest lime, like Mountain Dew green on fucking Earth in this show. And every time when he showed up, I actually turned that episode off. I was like, I refuse to watch this. Ant-Man looks crazy bad in this show.
Until he put on the suit, I was like, that's Hank.
Yeah.
Dude, the helmet is so it's so interesting how bad he looks. But like I think like across the board the villains look great. Like I think the main cast is fine. The other issue the show has besides like the color and like the bloom and all that stuff is they didn't have a lot of money.
Well, I do wonder because, you know, like, I just don't know how burgeoning the animation. I mean, there's a lot of French animation, obviously, but, like, a lot of it tends to be, like, pretty low budget.
Yeah.
And tends to be, there's some stuff that's, like, kind of high quality, but even, like, their most notable cartoons. I mean, look at, like, Miraculous, you know.
Oh, God.
Like, which is, like, one of the most popular cartoons they ever made, and it's still... I mean, they improved the animation a bit recently, but it just looks very bad. It's just like, like it doesn't look good. So it's like, that might just have to do with like
the French. Are you just blaming the French?
I'm not blaming the culture of France. I'm blaming the country. You know, like being in a place where it's like, okay, we don't have as much money as like a production from like Hollywood or Japan or something like that would have. And that's another thing is that, you know, since this is French, even though it's a co-production with Cartoon Network, you know, they animated the lip sync to French. So it's really bad sometimes. Like
it's dog shit. It's really fucking bad. Like I'm like, yeah, Reed, you are still talking. The words aren't coming out anymore. What the fuck are you doing?
And I guess like, speaking of Reed's voiceover, like I feel like I don't know if it's the direction or the actor. His like everyone else sounds fine, like or sounds like you know pretty good. I like the Thing voice, but like Reed's actor is directed pretty like flat here. Like I get they're trying to maybe do the sciencey like I'm a super smart and stoic science thing, but it didn't really work. It just kind of came across as this guy's the weak link here.
He's just a little bit.
It's also fucking Giran from Giran Zabi from Gundam, who is like the voice actor for. Oh, actually, let's get to the guys. Yeah, but like it's him from Gundam, and I'm like, this is strange. But Reed, I think the issue is that we're in 2006 here. We're still in that period where nobody except for really smart people who are locked in know how to write Reed Richards.
Right.
I think Reed Richards, like, listen, look, I think Reed is a little bit of a dick, right? But I think it's overblown how much of a dick he is, and people sometimes overcorrect and make him just like the like finger holding up urethra guy instead of adding anything else to him. Like,
good.
and here he's just kind of bland when you put him next to everyone else. Like he's very bland. I think Hiro Kanagawa does a fine job. I think the direction feels weird on him, like you said, Buster. But like it's fine. He's like a big anime. He has like a lot of anime.
Yeah. A lot of these people, they're all like the Vancouver mainstays. Some of them I don't know like too well. Like Brian Dobson, who voices the Thing. Apparently he did Dr. Garo and Boo in the ocean dub of Dragon Ball. So
Crazy.
There you go. That's cool. But like but when you go through like the list of the guest stars, I start to see people that I recognize, like David Kaye, Scott McNeil, Peter New, you know, like all of these people, Venus Terzo, whatever, like all these people that I know from like Beast Wars and My Little Pony, you know, like that's the and like the ocean dub of Dragon Ball. Like that's my only frame of reference for Canada voice actors. And I don't know. I think most of them are fine. I think maybe like Johnny Storm is like a little corny just because he's going a little bit too hard into like I'm the cool guy, like a little bit Sonic the Hedgehog-y, like Sonic Adventure 2 or whatever. But I think that fits his character, and it also does remind me of another character from Moon Scoop lore, which is Odd from Code Lyoko. So, yeah.
I think Johnny Storm's probably my favorite because Christopher Jacquot, who is he was in. I'm sorry to say this. He was in Degrassi. I don't know if you got any Degrassi heads in the house. I don't care. He played a teacher who was fucking a student, so he's weird.
Yeah.
But the episodes where like I had legitimate fun and laughed were probably because of Johnny Storm. There's a really funny joke where they're fighting like the Mole Man's guys. Mm-hmm. And She-Hulk goes, "What's wrong, Johnny? They messed up your manicure?" And he goes, "Yeah, they did."
Yeah.
And, like, she picks him up by the collar, and he's like, "This is so." He's so prissy and prima donna-y, and I'm like, "Yeah, this works. I need Johnny Storm to be a little fruity. I need it to like survive."
Yeah, one of the first episodes was the one where he's getting like judged by a tribunal, and they're like, "You're fucking annoying, so we're gonna kill you," and that's basically like he just blew up a couple probes, and then they're like, "That sucks. So you know how much those cost? We're going to murder you now." And then when they bring in his friends, they like probe their minds. And all of them, they have like mildly annoying stories about him, and they're like, "See, we gotta kill him now."
Yeah, he's the fucking worst. Like it's like it's funny. This show has like the action looks bad, right? Because it's animated bad.
Oh, it's really and that episode is fucking terrible. Like there is no like we will talk about it in a second, but continue.
The action's not bad. The colors on the show's bad. But I think the show has a really good sense of humor, which is crazy for like a comic book action show. Yeah. But like that's the strongest thing is like this show has a really funny sense of humor. Like there's so many times where like Ben and Johnny are together, and I'm like, this rules. Like there's a black hole, and Johnny goes, "What's that?" And Ben goes, I'm gonna throw a rock at it. And Johnny goes, "Okay." And Ben just throws a rock at a black hole, and it works. And goes, "Huh. Didn't think that was gonna work."
Yeah.
And like afterwards, Johnny goes, "Hey Ben, your shoes are untied." Ben goes, "I'm not wearing shoes, hothead."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay." And then Ben looks down still, and then keeps walking. I'm like, "Fuck, this show's really funny."
Yeah.
I think that actually fits with like Fantastic Four because like a lot of like from what I understand, the initial appeal of the team when they first debuted was kind of that like realistic-ish banter of like
and interplay.
Between the characters. So I think like it's really cool that they got that right if they couldn't get anything else right.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
I do have to ask: did anybody have the you know how there was the Hulk hands? Did anybody get the Thing feet?
I did not get the Thing feet.
Right?
I know what you're talking about. I remember the electronic Thing feet.
Yeah.
I didn't get those. And I think if anyone did get those, I'd attack them with a hammer.
I thought they just made Thing hands. I didn't know they made like shoe add-ons.
Yeah, they
made full feet.
I only remember the feet, but I expect it would be really stupid if they had a guy whose he said clobbering time and they only gave you feet. Like that would be weird.
No,
so
dude, that'd be so.
Yeah. But I also think Hulk, they gave you Hulk feet at some point, right? Like it wasn't just the Hulk hands. So
no, there's no way they gave you Hulk feet. Shut the fuck up. They did not give you Hulk feet.
Well, you need to
hold on, motherfucker. They get
what?
Wait, I'm looking it up now. There was no Hulk feet toy.
Okay.
This is just
so it's only they are only like the Thing. We got to give him the feet. But why?
I don't know. If someone donates money, Wyatt'll wear those for a week.
Yeah, that was just
instead of normal shoes.
I do want to shout out one time my history teacher, Mr. Barry. He did an entire class wearing gorilla gloves and never once like acknowledge it at all. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever met in my entire life. So
that's a
he's
good
like
bit.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that like over 15 years later or something, I don't know, but it was like senior year probably, so like 13 years later. I'm still thinking about it, but yeah, like just he was like he just started a class and then he like lifted his hand up and it was a gorilla hand and people like laughed, and then he just kept on going about his day without he didn't break kayfabe even once, so good on him.
I do want to talk. We talked about other three. I do want to talk about Sue.
Right.
Sue is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to like this. This is a cartoon from 2006. There's nobody gonna write this like woman well and develop.
Yeah.
No, she's also really fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really good scene where she gets like Dr. Doom takes her and Reed and goes, the Fantastic Four are over, like Johnny and Ben are still out there, and like Dr. Doom goes, well, without you two who are the intelligent ones, they can't get anything done. And Reed's like, that's not true, and Sue looks like makes a face like it's a little true. Like she's constantly on her brother's ass a little bit. It's really like the first episode I think is bad. Like I think the first episode with Namor is bad. But it is funny. Sue's reaction to everything in that episode does make it pretty funny. Like her going, we got to follow Namor under the water. And Johnny goes, you want the Human Torch to go underwater?
Yeah.
You can't make me. And she just fucking throws him over her shoulder with psychic powers.
Yeah.
He's like, no, please. It feels like an older sister and her younger brother who sucks shit. And I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah. They have like a good, like, I don't know, I like that kind of sibling relationship, especially like in the trial one where she's like pissed the fuck off at Reed Richards for being like, dude, my brother, I have no idea where the fuck he is. He was transported to another galaxy. What are you talking about? And like he's like, okay, I guess we'll figure it out. And like just trying to troubleshoot what the hell's going on there. Like that's very funny. I think that the pilot episode, which is the Doomsday, which is the one where that extremely funny clip that I posted of the Human Torch like getting cut off like mid-sentence by Dr. Doom just putting his hand up and blasting him.
It's so funny.
That one seems pretty. It felt very piloty, and it was kind of weak. It was like one of the weaker episodes for sure. What the fuck? I'm getting called by Illinois. Some fucking scam thing. It's you know what? Actually, I'm going to answer this on the podcast. Hello?
No!
Dude.
Hello?
Hello.
Nothing.
This is Illinois. Are your balls falling?
Yeah, I got one. I don't know. Either I was like half asleep and I didn't understand what I was like hearing, but one of them was like, I got like I don't know why I'm getting so many fucking spam phone calls, by the way. But I got a recording, on my voicemail, and it was like, call your local government to stop it so that assisted suicide can't happen or something like that. And I was like, what's going on in New York politics? Like what?
Dude, you have a Fantastic Four villain like this. Everyone should die now. Kill everyone now. Like that's the fucking stance as some villain. You got fucking Josh the Executioner.
Yeah,
is the name of some guy running for fucking office.
So the show, there's some like standbys that I recognize from like cartoon and comic writing. Like Bob Forward is he's a big guy in this. Christopher Yost, like
he's the
people.
showrunner.
Yeah, and apparently Avi Arad was involved in the Mole Hatton episode. So
no, he was involved. He's like an executive producer on the whole show.
Sure, but I mean, like as far as like he was directly the story by credit for that episode.
Oh.
Yeah. I wasn't saying he just was involved in that, but. Like he's apparently he came up with the Mole Hatton story, but yeah, of course it's like it's that Fox era of Marvel, and so Avi Arad just had his little fingies and all the pies of like Spider-Man.
I do not want to think about that.
Yeah,
I want to think about
Dan Slott also did the base story for the She-Hulk episode too.
Like, wasn't
Cool.
he writing She-Hulk at the time? I think. So, could be wrong.
I don't know.
I got no clue. I have no clue.
I do not know. Obviously, that's me.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say someone correct me later. All right.
Yeah, that's fine. There's like a few things where I'm like, I know what that is. I know what a Skrull is. Or I should say, I've heard the name Skrull said by other people, so I know it's a thing. I don't know what it is actually. But
It's an alien race, Wyatt, of people that turn into other people.
yeah, that's basically that's what it seemed like it was in the
Yeah. I think like they get
Is
like
it
a
like
lot
a
of
communism
base ideas
thing? Is that or like from the
Kinda,
60s?
honestly,
Yeah.
kinda, yeah. Like they do a whole story about like everyone's been replaced, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
so, yeah.
Red Scare.
Green scare
Ooh.
because they're green.
Oh shit! Damn.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
I think like across the board, I think the show like is kind of funny. It's fine. It's serviceable writing wise, but just everything else about it is dog shit. Which is
Yeah,
the issue.
the audio, like the visual experience of it is bad. Like it's not like the character designs are fine, but the actual like visuals of it are terrible. The animation is not great, and then the fight scenes are really bad because they are poorly edited, and there must be some kind of like standards and practice issue where they just cannot show people getting like punched or something. I know this is a problem with like basically all of comic book cartoons, especially like you go back to that 90s Spider-Man show and there's like, wow, there's no action happening in this action show. They're not
everyone's
actually like
flipping and
hitting each
dipping.
other. Yeah, like nobody's hitting each other. I was like, that has like ruined me forever whenever I see like a kid show and a character is holding a sword. I'm like, they're not gonna, what are they gonna use a fucking sword for? That's unless they're fighting robots or something like that. There's no cutting is going to be done with the sword. Which is not like that's not like a black mark against the show. It's just like pointing out that like there's so many fight scenes where a guy will run towards, it'll be a guy running and he'll throw a punch, and then it will like, you'll have your impact like black frame, and then it'll show somebody reacting to getting punched, but not actually the punch connecting.
Yeah.
And it just like makes all of the action really bad. But
And this is like the worst version of it too.
yeah,
also,
yeah.
here.
But like you said, the storylines that they tend to adapt or whatever tend to explore in the show, and the characters in general are well written enough that it actually overall ends up being a entertaining show. So it's not like a forgettable, miserable mess like I expected it to be, like just boring completely, like who cares about this. It actually ended up being like, a show like, yeah, this is like pretty good. I remember got somebody on Blue Sky, Boingo Rider, who was
That's my friend.
yeah, he commented saying like this is the best animated adaptation of Fantastic Four, and I can see that because before this we had the 80s, like the Hanna-Barbera stuff.
One of them where like Human Torch was not available, so they got a robot.
Yeah.
And then a jank 90s one where that meme rap comes from, where the Human Torch like starts rapping because the actor wanted to sell his mixtape. And then we have this one, which it's kind of like of the times, but still has like a charm to it.
Yeah, it's not like amazing, I would say, but I could see it easily being
the best.
Yeah, being the best, and it is like it's respectable compared to like it's not going to be at the same quality as like the DC cartoons
X-Men
that were X-Men, but like the DC cartoons that were around at the time that were kind of like building a universe and everything. I know this is like after that point, but just like it's in the wake of like Justice League Unlimited and things like that. In Marvel, unfortunately, they've never been able to have any cartoons that have been tapped into that kind of like shared universe thing.
Yeah.
They always make like, now they just do fucking MCU related things where it's like, which is I guess fine, but it's like, oh, Moon Girl, okay, that's in the MCU. There's like a fucking dinosaur. Like, there's
Devil Dinosaur. Name. Come on. No, but like the fact that like Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur is like the best like cartoon they produce, and like when you go to second place, you start going really low.
That's true.
I think that's like first and second, the gap is giant, but DC has like a handful of really good cartoons. It's kind of insane to me with the amount of money and everything behind Marvel and stuff that they just can't. Even now with Disney, they just can't get a good cartoon, like a truly good cartoon off the ground.
Yeah, you know what this very much reminded me of. Later, they would do one for Guardians of the Galaxy. Or that was
God,
Disney.
that whole like MCU light, like freaking shitty ass animation, like
yeah, they would do that, and then there was like Spider-Man.
I reviewed that like early.
Ultimate Spider-Man.
No, not Ultimate. There was the Ultimate like before,
Which was
and then there was just a adjectiveless Spider-Man in 2017, the time to like, the MCU one, and that's just a weird ass show, man.
I remember when it premiered. Like, me and Broden and Indy watched it. We're like, all right, let's check out the new Spider-Man. And then we watched it. We're like, that was mid as hell.
Basically the experience.
I think the issue is that, like, I think there is, and we talked about this before, is that no one wants to make these shows. They feel as though they have to.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that, like, makes the Bruce Timm shows and the other shows work so well is that perverted old man is like, guys, I want to make a Batman show that's in the future. Like, he feels something.
Yeah.
Everyone is like this. Who can we forcefully, at gunpoint, make a Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon?
This show, I feel like there's some actual, like, love for the comics because... I thought, oh, this is just going to be like, it's like the 2005 movie. But no, their characters, are not really based on that. And the story, they delve deep into comic stuff and bring in a bunch of characters. Like, to me, in my brain, the only time that I can think of where a Marvel show, like, okay, this is tapping in, like, doing deep Marvel lore or whatever was like Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is a few years after this. It's like one of the only Marvel shows that I watched and enjoyed.
That's a good one.
But this one I was surprised that it had so much, that it's like, oh my god, She-Hulk shows up and like Iron Man and Ant-Man and stuff like that. Like, just actually seeing like real characters show up. When you posted that there was Squirrel Girl in there at one point, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, like it's nice. It's nice to see that. Like, and I think the last time like Earth Mighty Heroes did it, but also the Spider-Man cartoon that I don't like also did it. And like, even though I don't like that show, I do think like it's cool that show like says, oh, here's Blade and Dormammu, and like I think we really gotta divorce our, like, and this won't happen. I know what we are, where we live in capitalism, and there's the Buffoons capitalism, whatever. But like, we really do gotta like separate ourselves from like the marketingness of it. Like, listen, I promise you that a kid's not gonna go, I can't enjoy this cartoon. There's a guy I don't know. No, motherfucker. Monster of the Week exists for a reason. Kids love to see a new monster every week. You could just use fucking Splippy, the evil dog, or whatever, in this episode, and a kid like this, man, Splippy's peak.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't care. They would have a great time.
Yeah, like...
Splippy's not real, by the way, everyone. I just said something.
Yeah, it's like kids don't really care about, like, pre-existing, like, oh, this character existed before. They just want to see a cool thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can use, like, a character you want. Like, I think that's why, like, Justice League Unlimited was such a strange but cool thing, is that they were like, yeah, dude, we're gonna have characters in this. Like, look, like Bwana Beast is in this episode. Like, the kids won't know who Bwana Beast is. Yeah, but he's funny and he's gonna make a sexy joke. And,
yeah,
like, that's true.
The whole point of Justice League Unlimited is like, okay, you got your like 3 or 4 guys that you know per episode, and then it's just a bunch of dudes. You're like, who the fuck is this? Like, that's the whole appeal, is that there's a shit ton of guys.
Yeah,
you're like, I don't know. Yeah, and you're like, I don't know who this guy is. And then also, like, going back to, like, Moon Girl, like, the appeal of that show, I think, to most kids that, like, watched it and enjoyed it, and even probably most, like, cartoon nerds that watch it and, like, don't really know anything about comic books or really even care about the MCU, is just, like, I want to see a cool show animated by the same guys who did all the aura and hype moments from... Rise of the TMNT,
Yeah.
and like, or whatever. Like they want to see like, oh, cool, and it's, you know, it's not just like a sitcom or something, slice of life show with like a black girl. It's like an actual action show. You know, like there's like
cool
that
music
stuff.
moments.
Yes. So that's like probably like they don't need to have 100% accurate knowledge of all the things in the comics. They can learn about it from the show, but they are onboarded through other means.
I think like we've lost like the knowledge of like, hey, I just want you to know that like comic books, like I know we live in a point where like the MCU exists and everyone wants to keep track and all that stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Many people found their favorite characters from a one-off appearance in a cartoon in the 90s and 2000s that they had no idea who the fuck that was. I promise you that there's like the team behind Justice League Unlimited going, guys, you want to do a Booster Gold episode? What? Yeah, let's just do an episode where we shit on Booster Gold and just have it be about him. That's why so many people our age love Booster Gold.
And like I can confirm, like Brave and the Bold, Batman Brave and the Bold did introduce me to one of my favorite characters, Blue Beetle. Like I'm a big Blue Beetle fan because of that.
Yeah, like Jaime getting a good start there. Like someone has to start somewhere. Like Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur is a great example. I'm seeing like little black girls dress up as her and like think about Devil Dinosaur. Like you got to remember, sometimes you should just make stuff. And I promise you, kids are weird. They will pick a strange character in this one-off and hyper focus on it.
Yeah, I am like so sad. Speaking of Moon Girl, going off of that they chose to do a live action show for Miss Marvel and not like the Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, that exact show. If they just did that but with Kamala Khan, I would be like
as a big
the
Kamala
greatest show
fan,
ever made.
I am so mad about that, but like that's a whole other conversation.
Like no, like she's made for cartoon, like. And the visuals for the team of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, they would have killed a fucking Kamala Khan show. But it's whatever. Like, I don't know. This show makes me like remember a time fondly. Even though the Fantastic Four it's not very good. But watching it, I was like, man, we used to just make things. And I know and I feel like I'm bitching about this all the time on Buffoons, and I hate that I gotta do that. But we really did just make it. Like, yeah, this is to like market the movie. Of course it is.
Yeah.
But there's no like mandate that someone okay, that's not fully true. There's a little bit of a mandate here. Because they did make Doctor Doom's origin a little bit like the movie, but not too much here.
Yeah.
What's the significant difference?
So okay,
I remember. Okay, so basically, Doctor Doom was with the in the movie. Doctor Doom was with the astronauts, like, and the accident.
Okay. Yeah,
that's like the big difference, and they do it the same thing here.
Which is, I feel like that's always weird when you do that, and then he's also like the leader of a country.
Yeah,
but it's whatever.
Yeah,
but I hope anyone who watches, I hope you enjoy it, because now Dr. Doom will be Tony Stark, and you're gonna have to.
Oh, that's right. And then before that, they did. Remember how the 2015 movie they like did the scene from Elfin Lied, where
what?
Yeah, the scene where Dr. Doom is like getting out of like a military bunker or whatever, and he's just like blowing up people's heads. With his psychic powers, like that's directly lifted from famously bad anime Elfin Lied.
Why do you know Dr. Doom's like actual power set outside of just like the dumb shit?
Lightning? Okay, like what the I don't know.
No. I'm going to tell you this. He is just a nigga, right? For the most part, he's just. But Wyatt, the thing is though, he's also like hyper intelligent, right? So he has like a cool robot suit. He has like. He's in really good shape. He's also a wizard.
Okay.
Not like a and not like a fucking like he like does magic like Doctor Strange style. He knows magic.
Okay.
And like he has like a little bit of like he just like went out of play like this. I need powers, and he just goes out but like reading books. So he's like a hyper like scientist man. He knows robotics. He also knows magic. If there's a book out there for him to read to figure out how to do something, he's done it and read it. And I think that's 1,000 times cooler than keep giving him fucking meta powers like the Fantastic Four and everything. Just make him be a dude who's like I read your book, loser. I know what the fuck I'm doing here.
That is actually incredible. The fact that he's just like, oh no, this isn't I can just take the suit off whenever I feel like it. I'm not like a metal man or whatever. And it's like, oh, did you were you like a mutant, or were you altered by gamma rays or whatever, or cosmic rays in order to have these powers? Like, no, I just studied the dark arts. That's that's why.
Yeah, like he is like this figure like in the face, but like that's why he wears the mask stuff. But like, yeah, he's just like, I've always felt it so cool that he's just a guy that knows metal and has a cool metal suit like Iron Man. He's like if Iron Man and Doctor Strange was like a Chad.
Yeah,
like it's the coolest thing about him.
Because I was like, again, like I said, what is the difference between him and Magneto? But I guess like, oh, Magneto's actually a mutant, etc.
And Hyde.
Sure. That's another thing that one of the only things I know about Magneto is that Magneto was right. That's like the meme or whatever with him. So
yeah.
Anyway, is there anything else?
I wish we.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wish there was a way we could talk about an X-Men show, but
no,
a lot of them are bad.
No, I mean we could do it if we do Disney. We could do
like Evolution.
Not.
Yeah.
No time soon will we be doing this.
Yeah.
Sure. No time soon. Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Disney,
I
borrowed my friend's Disney Plus account to watch Doctor Who, and I decided hey, Fantastic Four is owned by Disney, and I decided to pull it up on Disney Plus to watch it. And let me tell you, seeing the Cartoon Network Europe logo on a Disney Plus show is very surreal. It's very surreal.
I had no idea it was fucking on there.
Yeah, me neither.
Well,
I wish.
Listen, look.
I mean, I wouldn't have subscribed to Disney Plus because I don't want to subscribe to it.
Support evil, yeah.
But like, that would have been a little bit more convenient because like having to. It was kind of a fucking. You're right, because when I downloaded it on my laptop, it was like totally fine. But then when I downloaded episodes onto my computer, they were just the audio, like you said, when you were troubleshooting, and I was like, what the fuck. I just had to watch it all on my laptop, but
Funding, I think a lot of this is on YouTube.
Yeah.
I tried to see. I was like, can I just be lazy and not ask Mordecai on the Cartoon Network or the Cartoon Discord to give me the download? Because he's the drug dealer for the entire cartoon community for giving us episode downloads for shows.
Dude, why are you fucking leaving your plugs?
I'm not. Nobody. Who's gonna track down this exact?
You
Discord?
never know. You never know.
Dude, that's not the point, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I buy meth from here.
Yeah.
Like, no, don't tell them about Walter White. Let's just. But yeah, I guess, is there anything else to be said about this show?
It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll ask Buster. Is there like a specific episode that really stood out to you?
Let me look through just to remind myself.
Yeah.
I liked the episode where Doom and Reed swap bodies. I thought that was a really cool one, especially because they thankfully didn't do the trope where it's like, oh, they swap voices too. No, the actors have to act like the characters they're like swapped with, and for lack of and like that was a really cool episode, especially at the end where it's like, oh, Reed has to do PR now, and like you're oh my god, my alarm went off. Let me.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is giving me bad vibes whenever I hear that song.
I am so sorry about that.
Yeah. Like that's like a stress response that I get when I hear that song, just because it makes me think about waking up. So
I'm so sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, the episode is called Doomed. If I have to recommend like any episode to just get like a good like vertical slice of the show, that's the episode.
Yeah. Morgan, do you have any episode that stood out to you? Morgan?
Not really. Like that one, the She-Hulk one was pretty good too. But that was pretty much it. Like we talked about those a bit. Like those episodes are fine. I'll say find the She-Hulk one because it's funny, because Johnny and She-Hulk's interplay is really good.
Yeah.
It's called The Cure. It's about Ben getting cured of being a rock.
Oh yeah, he has like a blind girlfriend. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, that's like a big Ben thing, and her race is fluctuating.
Sure. Yeah. I imagine, it was a fairly recent thing to make her black. I have no idea if that was the case in the movie, so maybe it was based on...
No, she's black in the movie.
Okay, yeah, so it's probably based on that.
She's black in the movie, yeah.
So there you go, I mean, I don't know if there's any specific episode that I would be like... I can't remember a lot. Hold on, let me... go through some of them right now to see if...
Dude, I am sweating.
Yeah? I mean, it's kind of fucking hot. I mean, I have no idea how much hotter it is in wherever the hell you live, Morgan, but...
I'm... Damn, bitch! But, like, sorry, I'm in Atlanta, fucker, but,
I'm sure it's hotter in Atlanta than it is in New York, but...
I agree with that. Also, I think this coffee is just going through me.
Yeah. Yeah? So we need to wrap this up, is what you're saying?
I'm not rushing anyone, but
yeah.
I sound like the beginning of Rack City a little bit
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
tummy.
You're getting that like, you're blooping, you know?
What?
You're blooping.
What are you saying?
You're blooping, you know? What was that? You, like, posted a thing, like... a couple days ago.
Oh, the the guy playing. Yeah,
whenever I talked about
okay.
the fucking Burger King nerd slushy that I had,
Dude, guys, Wyatt, like they're trying to take away my rights to estrogen. They should take away Wyatt's rights to fucking these hellscape smoothies he be drinking.
Yeah.
This man's allowed to eat ice cream. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
sorry.
more
Wyatt's
unhealthy than that. It's just a slushy with nerds in it. So...
Yeah, Wyatt's allowed to do that to his body, but I can't inject estrogen into mine.
Yeah.
What a world we live in.
Yeah, I can literally poison my body with Burger King, and you can't have medically proven, clinically safe, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. So you guys remember? I'm sorry to say that. You remember when Burger King sold you 10 nuggets for $1?
What?
I remember.
Dude,
I remember.
Yeah,
when
they sell 10 nuggets for $1, Buster.
I know fast food too well to the point where, like, you know, you can never go home. I just like look at the stuff. It just disgusts me how high prices are for things now. Like, you can get like a Whopper meal for like $7 before, and now it's like, oh, $13 for a Whopper meal. Like, fuck you. Why? Why is this so expensive?
I do think like $1 for 10 nuggets is crazy because that's like 10 cents a nugget. Mm-hmm. I do think Burger King was serving like llama ankles or something. Yeah. That could not have been above board, bro.
I was gonna say the amount of like destruction of animal life that goes into creating 10 nuggets for 10 cents is like, that is ridiculous. So
that was Skrull cheeks. Like, they were killing Skrulls and cooking them for you.
Yeah.
Like, that shit could not have been kosher.
It definitely was not kosher, nor halal.
It wasn't kosher. So. No, I'm about to say it can't be halal either. That shit was not safe to eat.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you.
You try to bless and you burst into flames. Go ahead, sorry.
Thank you for coming on, Buster, of course.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
Of course, yeah. And why don't you go ahead and plug your stuff?
All right. Hi, I'm Bustercorp, or Buster, whatever you want to call me. I run the YouTube channel of the same name. I do all sorts of video. I don't know when this podcast is coming out, so I don't know what will be out, but I do like videos on like tokusatsu, video games.
Like halfway through June, I would say.
Through June. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be doing halfway through June.
Yeah,
I kind of just do whatever, like just flying by the seat of my pants. You know, I do like all sorts of like videos on like animation, video games, tokusatsu. Those are like the three main things. Sometimes I'll throw a curveball here and there. But yeah, you can check out my channel. I just do analyses of all them. Pretty quick stuff. And then if you want to follow my ramblings or freaking, I don't know, whatever else, Blue Sky, Bustercorp at .bsky.social. I just post about whatever I'm working on or just yapping about Kingdom Hearts or Persona or RPGs, whatever.
You should definitely follow Buster, not me and Wyatt, because we're cocks and Buster's really cool and nice.
I wish. No, you should follow them too. They're funny.
Yeah, go Morgan. Where could they follow you if they wanted to?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Fuck you.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Tumblr at GirlNextVor. I post about mostly Vampires the Masquerade and also other nonsense. You can also find me at Blue Sky. However, Dr. Doom is going to use a time machine to make it so the Fantastic Four never get their powers, and he takes over a Blue Sky and turns it into an authoritarian regime. So you want to get on that really quickly before he does that. On Blue Sky, I am talking about nonsense. Just utter fucking nonsense, dude. Have you ever wondered what a thought beast from Krypton was? Check out Blue Sky.
Yeah.
We are talking about thought beasts. If you ever wondered, like, hey, Morgan, how many times can you tweet about someone spitting in someone else's mouth in one day? You'll find the numbers, baby. I'm over there doing that. I also post art, but who gives a shit about that? That's lame. Wyatt, where can we find you?
I just want to say that all I did was ask, why is there a dog? Why is Crypto a super dog? As in, like, I was assuming, like, maybe he's, like, a normal dog that got, like, he got hit by, like, a piece of kryptonite, and then that made him super strong. You know, like how in Smallville,
that makes no
everybody,
sense.
like, gets, like, becomes super powerful because of kryptonite.
Okay, wait. So you're telling me it's more believable for a space rock to give normal people powers than it is for a dog to exist on Krypton?
That is way more reasonable because
I'm going to kill you. What are you talking about?
Hold on, another planet evolving the exact same type of dog as that we have on Earth is like, come on,
dude. He's
not
even like a fucking he's like a nondescript white dog. What the fuck are you talking about?
But like, even to getting to the point where there are wolves to domesticate into dogs is like, that's a stretch. You know, I'm already suspending my disbelief that Homo sapien type creatures could grow on Krypton and be like, yeah, we're like the same guys, but we're strong. You know,
I can't.
Or I guess they're not strong because they need the.
No, they're not strong. They have to be
normal guys.
I can't believe in a universe where we have a billionaire dressed as a bat, and you just told me, yeah, a meteor giving you superpowers. That checks out. But you know, wolves being domesticated the same way on another planet.
No,
I'm getting so angry.
That's not the problem. The problem isn't that them being domesticated the same way. The problem is them, like, any organism evolving into a wolf is just insane. The idea that would happen the exact same way that would on Krypton. Especially because Krypton, it's like a weird, like, 70s crystal planet, apparently, from, like, do you remember the Christopher Reeve movie? That's what Krypton,
but
that's what it looks like.
It's still like a mirror planet to Earth, you know? Like, that's the thing. Oh, who gives a fuck? I'm getting
sure.
I'm gonna kill you.
But all I asked was, like, why is he a super dog? And then all this fucking bullshit, like, all these people were responding to me and arguing.
All these people,
no,
it was like
because,
two people.
Yeah.
No, I
like
truly,
4 people. I got messages like hours after the fact from like some random guy I've never met before that was like, yeah, you know, blah blah blah. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Like, what got me about it? Like, what really got me is that, like, not even that, like, you were like, oh, whatever. What got me was you immediately going, and I said, oh, he's like a dog from Krypton, and not you going anything else. You said, that's insane. But
which
sure.
is true.
I'm like, you don't be dismissive of me, you piece of shit. I was getting heated and I'm like this, like, what the fuck do you mean it's the same? Why is there a dog on Krypton? And I'm like, fuck you. I'm getting like so angry. Like,
literally true though. Like, why that's not like whatever. I can suspend my disbelief, but it's just like ridiculous to be like, all right, there was just a dog. They're just dogs here as well. It's more reasonable to be like, oh, they sent like Laika into space and then was intercepted by Krypton. You know, the fucking dog they sent to space and it died horribly.
I know who Laika is. No, but like you go and that's the thing that like that's so crazy to me. This is like the non-racist version of why are there black people in Song of Ice and Fire? Like this is like the non-racist version of it. We're like, oh, that's where I suspension of disbelief. End the podcast.
Yeah, we need to. Anyway, Wasp Ranger, WACP Ranger. You can on Twitter and Blue Sky. It's mostly stream of constants and stuff. You can see me talk about crypto. You know, go check that out. If you want to check out videos that I'm making, you know, follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. I post about that. I post about podcasts that I'm in. Go to my YouTube channel. It's Only Magic. If you're not listening to this podcast on there right now, if you aren't, go there, check it out. All the podcasts go up there for free. You can also check out videos. Like I made one on Primos, I made one on Control Delete. Hopefully the Stugo video is out at this point. It should be. barring no like serious delays. So check that one out. I'm sure it's great. It's like an hour long. Get ready. And next week, or I guess now if you're subscribed to the Patreon, if you put $3 in, you can get to the Class of 3000 episode right now on the Patreon if you're listening to this on the free feed. So go ahead, put $3 towards that. Listen to Class of 3000. Have a good time. If you're listening to this on the Patreon, great. Thanks.
Thank you.
If you only got $1 to spare, that's fine. You can still check out Wow Cool Robot, which is me and my friend Wayne going through every single robot in existence. It's a good time. So, all right. Again, thank you, Buster, coming on, talking about Fantastic Four. It's good stuff. And join us next time. We'll talk about Class of 3000.
Yeah, la, 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 la.
Yeah, see you there.